Europe tipped into war when Hitler's army crossed into Poland. Britain needed fighters fast. The United States was still neutral, and its factories were not yet on a war footing. Curtis could spare some P-40 Warhawks, but not enough. That is when British buyers knocked on the door of North American Aviation. The company was young. Its president, James Howard Kindleberger, was bold. He offered more than a license line. He promised a brand-new fighter in 120 days. Faster, longer range, cheaper, better. North American took the gamble. The team drew a sleek fuselage around an Allison 12-cylinder, liquid-cooled engine. The prototype, tagged NA-73X, rolled out ahead of schedule. Test pilot Vance Breese lifted off and found an airplane with low drag and clean lines. The laminar flow wing moved the thickest section aft, reducing friction. The radiator scoop under the belly did more than cool. At speed, it produced thrust from heated airflow, a clever effect British engineers later called Meredith. The result was range and speed that punched above the engine's weight. Britain named it Mustang. American evaluators saw promise, but also a problem. The Allison engine's single-stage supercharger fell flat above about 17,000 feet. Up high, where German interceptors lived, the Mustang lost its edge. The U.S. Army Air Corps made a practical call. Use it low, use it hard. The dive-bombing version received a new label, a 36 Apache. It carried perforated dive brakes. It fought in North Africa and Italy, and pilots still called it Mustang. Then combat exposed the catch. A liquid-cooled fighter needs its coolant. A hit to the radiator or its lines meant rapid engine failure. Pulling out of a dive at low speed, the airplane could be riddled by small arms fire. Many did not make it home. The flaw was not unique among liquid-cooled fighters. Spitfires and Bf-109s faced the same risk. But on the Mustang, the scoop sat right where ground fire could find it. Crews added armor and self-sealing lines. Tactics changed. Attacks were made fast, shallow, and from surprise. Even so, the Allison Mustang earned a niche. Over Burma in 1943, it worked as air cavalry. It found targets, led strikes, and supported troops across mountains and jungle. Pilots praised its handling, its range, and its forgiving manners on rough strips. The airplane needed one last piece to become great. The British proposed it. Fit a Rolls-Royce Merlin with a two-stage, two-speed supercharger. Packard would build the Merlin under license in Detroit. North American reworked the nose, redesigned the cooling system, and added a four-blade propeller. With the Merlin, the Mustang breathed at 30,000 feet and beyond. The P-51B and the near-twin P-51C carried four .50 caliber Browning machine guns. Later, the P-51D added a teardrop canopy for all-around view, a dorsal fin for stability, and six .50 caliber guns in strengthened wings. Now the numbers favored the Allies. The Mustang's internal fuel and its frugal engine gave it a combat radius of over 1,000 miles. With drop tanks, it could escort bombers to targets deep in Germany and back. B-17 crews called the fighters their little friends. Losses fell. Confidence rose. The Luftwaffe lost fuel, airfields, and experienced pilots. Each raid returned with more bombers intact and more enemy aircraft destroyed. The Mustang's virtues multiplied. It was fast in a dive. It climbed well. It turned tightly at combat speeds. It could loiter over airfields and pounce on returning fighters. When German jets appeared, the Mustangs adapted. They attacked during takeoff and landing, where jets were slow and vulnerable. In the air, disciplined formations and smart energy management offset sheer speed. The war's endgame played out under a canopy, often framed by that distinctive bubble. Was it flawless? Almost. The liquid cooling system remained its one true vulnerability. A rifle round could still ruin a mission. Pilots knew it, and flew accordingly. The reward was worth the risk. By war's end, Mustangs had flown hundreds of thousands of sorties, claimed thousands of enemy aircraft in the air and on the ground, and escorted the heavy bomber stream all the way to Berlin and back. The recipe seems simple now. An advanced airframe, a laminar wing that cut drag, a radiator scoop that paid back some of its own penalty, a license-built Merlin that lifted the ceiling and sharpened the climb, long legs that changed the bomber war, and one persistent weakness that never quite went away. The Mustang was the most graceful blade in the Allied arsenal. It was almost perfect, except for that one thing.